सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। So we were looking at the Murta Brahmanam, which is the third Brahmanam in the second chapter. So here the Adhyaropa is done. The teaching of Vedanta itself is done through a methodology called Adhyaropa Apavada. So that is the most important methodology which is used by the Upanishads itself. And there is also a saying that Adhyaropa Apavadabhyam Nishprapancham Prapanchyate. Nishprapancham means that which cannot be described or objectified or like that. Okay, that which cannot be directly cognized as an object. We can take it like that. So how do we teach a thing which is not an object of your mind or which is not an object of any cognition? So that is being taught by doing deliberate superimposition and then negating everything else. Okay, whatever you have superimposed, along with that you negate everything, because what you have superimposed actually includes everything. The entire Srishti is superimposed and then it is negated. And when you negate that, what is left behind is the negator's Swarupa, correct? The negator can never be negated. That is how the teaching is done. So the negator is the truth, finally, correct? Everything else is mithya. Satyam is nothing but the self of the negator itself is the Satya Vastu. That is what is being revealed. And then since it is Satyam, it is also Anantam. It is unlimited, limitless. It does not have any limitations. So that is how the teaching is done. So here the Upanishad is doing Adhyaropa by showing that this entire world, it is now dividing and showing as Murta and Amurta. So Murta itself is looked upon in 4 different ways. Okay. Because Murta is also Martya, it says. So that which is having a form which has a well-defined form, correct? If you take that, the well-defined form is there. What is Murta? Bhashyakara gave a definition here. You can see Murchita Avayavam. Itara Anupravishta Avayavam also he says. So the parts are penetrating each other. Like nut and bolt and all that, correct? They are penetrating each other. Means it is all put together. Okay, different things. When you have things which are put together intelligently, you have a certain karya or an effect. But since that effect is put together, anything put together will also disintegrate. Okay, so that's why what is Murta is also Martya. So even the Upanishad itself says that. And what is this Murta? It is initially saying that which is not space and wind. Okay, Vayu and Antariksha, that which is not Vayu. So yed anyat Vayoscha Antarikshacha, like that the Murta was first shown. And then whatever is having a certain fixed form is also talked about as Etan Martyam, Etat Sthitam. Sthitam means it is there limited in one place. Parichinnam. And it is also Etat Sat. Sat means that which is tangible. Okay, which can be directly perceived through your sense organs as a tangible object. Tangibility or visibility, you can say. More than visibility, tangible is a better word, I think, for Sat. Because even if you are not able to see, if you are able to feel it with your hands, with certain shape and all that, that is also tangible, correct? That can be called tangible. So these four characteristics are there together normally. So they are all talked in one go, okay, together. So here Bhashya also we saw, particularly up to this point, I think. So why this Murta is Martya? Because all Murta is shown as Marana Dharmi. Then Bhashyakara asks Kasmat, why? Because Yasmat Sthitam Etat. So he is now trying to connect the four things together. So because why all Murta is also Martya or mortal or that which gets destroyed, it is because it is also limited. It is Sthitam. So Sthitam means Parichinnam, he says. And whatever is Parichinnam only, what happens is when you connect it with something else, then it is limited by that, correct? So Arthantarena Samprayujyamanam Virudhyate. So it is opposed or stopped or limited by something else when it comes in contact with something else. Then he gives an example. Yatha Ghataha Stamba Kudyadina. So when you have a pot, you bring the pot near a stamba, means a pillar. Kudya means a wall. Means that that pot itself is restricted by a pillar or a wall and all those, correct? Because wall is a separate object, pot is a separate object. By being one object only, it is limited and it is not something else. So like that he says in general, tatha, therefore what? Murtam, Sthitam, Parichinnam, Arthantara Sambandhi, Tataha, Arthantara Virodat Martyam. So now he is connecting these three things. Whatever has a form, fixed form, is also limited. And when it comes into contact with something else, it is opposed or it is stopped. Okay, its limits are only up to a certain boundary, correct? Therefore, it is also Martya, it can be destroyed. And that is also Sat, finally. Okay, Etat Sat. Sat means what here? I told you, tangible means what? Visheshyamana Asadharana Dharmavat. Means it has a special characteristic which can be perceived directly through your pratyaksha, sense organs. Therefore, it is tangible or Sat. Tasmadhi. Okay, because of that only what? Parichinnam. Because whatever is perceived as having a certain characteristic is also limited. Again, he's going back from Sat onwards. He's trying to show that whatever is tangible is limited. Because of tangibility itself, it is limited also. And whatever is limited is mortal. And whatever is mortal is Murta, which is having a form. So he's just showing that each of them are connected to each other. Okay. So he says Tasmadhi Parichinnam Parichinnatvat Martyam Ataha Murtam. So again he started from Murtam and then he said it is Martyam because it is Sthitam and then it is Sat. Then you start from Sat and say because of the fact that it is Sat, it is also Parichinna or Sthitam, and because it is Parichinna, it is Martyam, because it is Martya, it is Murta. So like this you can show that. So Murtatvad va Martyam, Martyatvat Sthitam, Sthitatvat Sat. So the other way around also it is possible. So starting from Murta also you can establish all these things. Therefore he says, finally what he says is Ataha Anyonya Avyabhicharat Chaturnam Dharmanam Yatheshtam Visheshana Vishesha Bhavaha Hetu Hetumad Bhavascha Darshayitavyaha. So what he says, these four characteristics are not mutually exclusive. Anyonya Avyabhicharat means, Vyabhichara means they are exclusive or separate, mutually separate, correct? Anyonya means mutually, you can say. Avyabhicharat means here mutually they are not exclusive. They can coexist, these characteristics, in one substance. So these four dharmas are qualities, and also you can look upon them. Each of them can be looked upon as a Visheshana and a Visheshya. Because you have this, it is that. Or even a Hetu Hetumat Bhava means cause and effect kind of a relationship also you can show between each of these four things. Okay. So it can be shown, he says. Or Darshayitavyaha means tavya pratyaya means it should be shown or it may be shown, like that we can take. And then what? Sarvathapi tu bhutatrayam chatushtaya visheshana vishishtam murtam rupam brahmanaha. So then what? See, all over this bhutatraya, all these three bhutas, correct? The starting from Agni, Apaha and Prithvi. The wind, fire, fire, water or liquid and Prithvi or solid, earth. Okay, these elements, these three elements have this four characteristics or four qualities. So they are characterized by these four qualities, and they are and that is the Murta Rupa of Brahman. So Brahman as a Murta Rupa. Again here Rupa means it is not really a Rupa or a form, because Brahman itself is in one way formless, correct? But why do we still call it Rupam? Because Bhashyakara already told. He gave a definition here before. If you go back, Rupyate Anena iti Rupam, like that he said. Somewhere here, I think we saw already. Okay, anyway, I'm not able to locate that, but we have to take the meaning as like that. Okay, it is the Rupam here means really through that we are able to know Brahman. That is the idea here. That is why they are called Rupa. It's not like Brahman itself is having that form or anything like that. Then Tatra Chaturnam Ekasmin Grihite Visheshane Itara Grihitam Eva Visheshanam Iti Aha. Okay. So again, already Bhashyakara showed that from one characteristic we can arrive at the others. Correct? That the Upanishad itself is showing in this manner, he is saying. Correct? Here if you see Tasya Etasya Murtasya Etasya Martasya Etasya Sthitasya Etasya Sataha, like that it has said. All of them together. Why is the Upanishad saying like that? Bhashyakara is giving the meaning for that. He says Tatra in this context, what Chaturnam Ekasmin Grihite. So of the four, if you understand one, the others also logically follow, or they are also implied. So Ekasmin Grihite, once you understand one characteristic, Visheshane. So one of the qualities or characteristic you have understood means what? Itara Grihitam Eva Visheshanam. All others are also understood or implied. Therefore, what Upanishad is saying like this: Tasya Etasya Murtasya Etasya Martyasya Etasya Sthitasya Etasya Sataha, like that. So Chatushtaya Visheshanasya Bhutatrayasya Ityarthaha. So the Bhutatraya, which are all having these four characteristics. Okay, the three bhutas, which are Agni, Apaha and Prithvi, they are having these four characteristics of being Murta, Martya, Sthita and Sat. And of these three elements, only what is the essence of these three elements now? That also Upanishad is showing like a single symbol for this Murta Prapancha. Is what? Whatever is visible to you every day, the Aditya, Surya. So Yesha Rasaha, Saraha Ityarthaha. So the Sara, the essence of these three elements is what? Trayanam hi bhutanam sarishtaha savita, the Savita Devata, whom we see every day. Or in English they translate it as solar orb or solar disk and all that, whatever it is. So when you see in the morning, you are seeing the sun, correct? The sun and the solar system itself we can take is the essence of these three, because these three are represented in the solar system, correct? So solar system or the sun itself is the representative or symbol or essence of these three, because it is a karya of these three things. So that's what Bhashyakara will tell here. We'll see that etat sarani trini bhutani. Okay, yataha etat krita vibhajyamana rupa visheshanani bhavanti. So why this Savita is the Sara? for these three bhutas. Okay, the Savita Devata is the one which is shown here by the Upanishad itself as the Sara Bhuta, or the Sara, or the essence of these three bhutas. Why? Because yataha etat krita vibhajyamana rupa visheshanani bhavanti. So the Savita, only when the Savita Devata is there, we are able to see these three bhutas also, correct? With all the with their forms separately. Vibhajyamana means divided or separate. So vibhajyamana rupa visheshanas are there, correct? The characteristics, separate characteristics, their forms, etc., are all we are able to see because of this sun only. Sun's light is there, then we are able to see everything. So because of the sun's light only, since we are able to see all these things, these tangible things, the three bhutas themselves, therefore it is considered as an essence. And also the sun itself is a effect of these three things. Adi Daivikasya Karyasya etad Rupam. Also Adi Daivika. See, these two, second Vakya and third Vakya in this Brahmana deals with Adi Daivika aspect of Murta and Amurta. Fourth and fifth will deal with Adhyatmika. Again, this is very interesting, correct? Whenever the Upanishad is talking about the totality of the manifest world, it is not just talking about the physical world. Understand that. See, mostly our current science is only talking about the physical world. Of course, they are also forced to talk about mind or consciousness and all that, or an observer. But then there is no real, till now at least, it has not progressed much. And they don't have any consensus on what this observer is, whether what is this consciousness and all these things. Okay, they have different theories, so they cannot agree on anything there. But anyway, whenever the Shastra is talking about the entire world, it is not just talking about the physical world, or at a cosmic level alone it doesn't talk. It will also talk of at the individual level. As a conscious being, you are there, correct? So that also has to be included, that also has to be covered in this prapancha, or the world itself, the Jagat itself. So the Adi Daivika is now discussed. Later on, Adhyatmika also will be discussed. So we will see that. So Adi Daivikasya Karyasya etad Rupam. So this sun itself is the Karya, okay, is the Rupa of the Adi Daivika Karya. At Adi Daivika means, as I told you, it is with reference to the Devas, or with reference to the totality. And what is that Rupam? Yet Savita, the Savita itself is the Karya Rupa. And Yad Etan Mandalam Tapati. So here Yesha Tapati is there. Bhashyakara is commenting about that. So the Savita Devata is the one who is shining. Okay, this entire mandala, our solar system itself, is getting both heat and light. So it is Tapati. And Sataha, then there is Sataha here. Sataha hi Yesha Rasaha. So Sataha here, although only Sat is used, we should include all the other characteristics are also there like that. And Sataha means Bhutatrayasya, the three bhutas which have this characteristic of being Sat. He is there here. He means Bhashyakara is giving the meaning as Tasmat or Yasmat, okay, because or hence, like that we can take. So this Surya alone is therefore the essence of these three bhutas, because it is shining, and in its shine only we are anyway able to perceive these three bhutas. Therefore he says he here is Yasmat Yesha Rasaha. So this Surya itself is the Rasa iti etad grihyate. So we have to take this Surya as the essence of these three Bhutatraya, and Surya itself is a Karya of the Bhutatraya. We saw that, and but being the Karya also, in its light only we are able to clearly perceive these characteristics in the three Bhutas. Therefore, it is a Saraha. It is the Sara of all the Murta Prapancha, entire Murta Prapancha, or the world of tangible forms. So Murtaha hi eshaha savita tapati sarishtascha. So being the one with a form only, the Savita itself is shining, and it is also the essence of these three bhutas. So with this, what the Adi Daivika part we have seen. Now we have to see this being the Karya means what is the Karana? Because the entire thing is nothing but a Karya Karana Sanghata, we say. Whether at the Adi Daivika level or Adhyatmika level, we are going to look at both the Karya and Karana. The Karya part we have seen. Now we have to look at the Karana, which is always subtle. Understand that. Karana, the Antakarana, the internal organs, which include your all the sense organs and mind, all these things, they are all Karana. They are the subtle part or the Amurta part. So that's what now Bhashyakara, that will be discussed now. So yetu Adhi Daivikam Karanam Mandalasya Abhyantaram Tadvakshyamaha. So this Savita Mandalam is there, correct? Or Surya Mandala. The Surya Mandala is only a physical Surya Mandala we are seeing, correct? But according to the vision of the Upanishads, our Shastra, it is not just only the physical Mandala, but there is a Devata there with a Abhimana that I am the Surya. So everything there is a Devata who is the Abhimani, Surya Mandala Abhimani Devata is there with a Sukshma Sharira. Now that will be talked about. That's what he is saying. So Abhyantara means the one who is there within this Surya Mandala, the physical, even within our physical body, I am there as an individual. Similarly, if you take the entire solar system or the whatever sun as a physical entity, there has to be a subtle body of that also. And what is that? That we'll see. That will be shown as Amurta. Adhi Daivika Amurta, which we'll see here. So Atha Amurtam Vayuscha Antariksham. So what is Amurta? The left out two other bhutas, correct? Vayu and Antariksha. So Cha Etad Amritam. So Etad Amritam. It is opposite to Murtam. Murtam is Martyam, means this is Amritam. It is relatively, you cannot destroy the space, correct? You can destroy things within the space, but you cannot destroy the space or even this wind and all that. This you cannot destroy it like you can destroy a physical thing, or you can put out fire. You can whatever, you can even any liquid, you can change its form, you can make it into gas, you can do whatever, or any solid thing also you can break and destroy. But Vayu and Antariksha, you cannot do that. So it is relatively considered as Amrita. It is not Martya. And also it is what? Yetad, Yat. Okay, Yat means what? That which is again not restricted by boundaries. Space cannot be restricted, correct? Of course, you can build walls and all that, but in reality, you are not dividing the space just because you have a wall or a part or whatever, an enclosing space. So it is Yat means it is not Parichinna, it is Aparichinna in one way because it is all over, it goes everywhere. That is the idea here. Yat, then what? Yetat Tyat. Okay, the other one was Sat. This is Tyat. Tyat means again intangible. You cannot perceive it with your sense organs. Okay, Tyat. It is not tangible, it is intangible. Then again that is repeated here because all these four follow from each other, are implied by each other. So Upanishad again says Etasya Amurtasya, Etasya Amritasya, etasya yataha, etasya tyasya, esha rasaha. Okay, again, like previous one, it repeats and then says what is the essence of the amurta prapancha. Means what? Yaha eshaha etasmin mandale purushaha. So whoever is the purusha, whoever, here the purusha means the sukshma sharira. Okay, the sthula sharira is the savita, the savitra mandala itself, which is the gross form. But the one who is there in the abhyantara, inside this gross form, and that is the purusha here. It is referred to as the purusha, means the hiranyagarbha, we say. The totality of the sukshma sharira is called hiranyagarbha, or even prana. The word prana also is used for that. So that is pointed out here. So the collective sukshma sharira is the rasa of the amurta prapancha. And again it repeats that. Like here it said that sataha, here tyasya. Because the sat and tyat alone, specially Upanishad is pointing, because later on it will say the murta and amurta together is sat plus tyat, it is satya. And then from there we understand satyasya satyam is Brahman. Is that clear? So that is why these two words are specially mentioned. So here it is saying sataha hi esha rasaha. Here tyasya hi esha rasaha. And then with this adhi daivata part is over. So it says ityadhi daivatam. Okay, so with reference to the totality or the devatas, we have now discussed what is murta and amurta. Now Bhashyakara, let us see quickly. In fact, there is also a Purva Paksha Siddhanta here, because Bhashyakara also refutes the view of Bhartru Prapancha, who has a different view here. So he points out why what Bhartru Prapancha says is wrong. But before that, let us see here. It is all simple Bhashya. Atha Amurtam. So now we are going to discuss Amurta. Atha Aduna. Now Amurtam Uchyate. So Amurta is being talked about. That's what is this Atha Amurtam. Vayuscha Antarikshancha Yat Parisheshitam Bhutadvayam. So Vayuscha Antariksham Cha means Vayu and Antariksha are space, wind and space, which are the left out, because the three others were talked about before. So Bhashyakara says Yat Parisheshitam means whatever has been left out, the Bhutadvaya, the two other Panchabhutas. Amongst the Panchabhutas, the two elements which were left out. And they are what? Etad Amritam. So Upanishad itself says here, Etad Amritam. Why it is Amritam? Because Bhashyakara is giving the reason. Amurtatva. It is not having any form, fixed form or anything. Asthitam. It is not limited to in one place alone. This is all pervasive. Space is all pervasive. Wind also can go anywhere, at least. And ataha, therefore what? Aviruddhyamanam kenachit. It is not opposed by anything. Okay, like an object with a particular form is limited by that form itself, correct? It is opposed by other objects with form. But space and wind are formless and they can move anywhere. They are not opposed by anything. A wall cannot oppose the space, correct? It is in space. Really, it is not really dividing the space or anything like that, or it cannot do anything to the space itself. So it is aviruddhyamanam. Because it is aviruddhyamanam only, because it cannot be opposed or stopped by anything. Therefore, it is amrita. Okay, it is also asthitam. It's not limited to only one place. So again, he shows all these connections. So amritam, amarana dharmi, does not have any marana or destruction. Etad yat, therefore it is also yat. Yat means what? Sthita viparitam. It is opposite to sthitam. Means it, yat means the yat dhatu means what? Yatati and all we say, correct? Yeah, yati means to move. It goes all over the place. It's not stuck in one place, stationary. It is not stationary. Sthitam means stationary. Yat means you are going all over the place. So it is vyapi, it is pervading. Okay. Sthita viparitam, vyapi, aparichinnam, unlimited. Therefore, what? Yasmat, yat yetat, whatever is yat, Anyabhyaha apravibhajyamana vishesham means it cannot be separated out or stopped by other things. Other objects do not abstract, you can say. Apravibhajyamana means it cannot be abstracted by any other object. Normal objects with form, they are abstracted. This viruddhyamanam can be taken as abstraction, which is a better word, I think, than oppose and all that. So here it cannot be abstracted or stopped by any other quality or object or anything. So it has that characteristic. Therefore, what ataha tyat, it is also tyat iti paroksha abhidanarham eva purvavat. So it can only be called as tyat because it cannot be directly perceived, and it can be only indirectly perceived, like that. So purvavat means previously he showed, correct, all these four things are implied by each other and all that. Those things we have to understand in similar manner here. And then what? Tasya etasya amurtasya etasya amritasya etasya yataha etasya tyasya. Okay, these are all from the Upanishad itself, correct? So he is just taking these vakya and what? Etasya tyasya chatushtaya visheshanasya amurtasya yesha rasaha. So these four characteristics, whatever has, the essence of those substances, what? Kaha. So what is that means? Ya yeshaha etasmin mandale purushaha. So the one who is the Purusha in this mandala. So Purusha here means the Sukshma Sharira. That's what Bhashyakara is pointing out. And Bhartir Prapancha takes the Purusha differently. We'll see that later. So he says Karanatmakaha Hiranya Garbhaha Pranaha iti abhidhiyate. So the one who is called as Hiranya Garbha or Prana also or Sutratma also sometimes. These are all the words used. So iti abhidhiyate, the one who is referenced in that manner, referred to in that manner. Yaha sa yeshaha amurtasya bhutadvayasya rasaha. So that is the one which is the essence of this amurta bhutadvaya, the two elements which are amurta, which are formless. Purvavat sarishtaha. So it is also similar. Why it is sara and all? Because this sukshma sharira also is a karya of the bhutadvaya. Understand that. So we see that in Panchikaranam and all, we have a 5 elemental model where we show how everything is a karya of these 5 bhutas only. So like the 2 other bhutas, the Sukshma Sharira also is similar in characteristic, that it is having all those same characteristics, correct? The Sukshma Sharira does not die even when the physical body dies. So that way it is Amrita. And it is, again, you cannot see anybody's mind, correct? If we can see others' mind, then the whole world will be very different, I think. I don't know whether it will have any interest then, whatever. So you can't see the other person's Sukshma Sharira. And the Sukshma Sharira also, mind can go anywhere. While sitting here only, my mind can be there in US. So that way also it is Yat, it can go anywhere. In thought itself, it is going all over the place, correct? And it is Tyat, it is intangible. So all these characteristics are there. Therefore, the collective Sukshma Sharira is the Sara of the Amurta Prapancha. Therefore, what? Etat Purusha Saram cha Amurtam Bhutadvayam. So, this Bhutadvaya is having the Purusha as the Sara, okay, as the essence. And what? Hiranya Garbha Linga Arambhayahi Bhutadvaya Abhivyaktihi Avyakrita Tasmat Tadartyat Tat Saram Bhutadvayam. So Bhashyakara is also trying to show how we can show this Hiranya Garbha as the Sara of the Amurta Bhutas. So he is saying that these 2 Bhutas themselves are manifest only for the purpose of creating the Linga Sharira of the Hiranyagarbha. Okay. Arambhaya means to create. Okay. To start means here to create only. So to create the total Sukshma Sharira only, these 2 bhutas themselves have manifested. Therefore, what? These 2 bhutas are for the purpose of the collective Sukshma Sharira. Therefore, that is the Sara. okay, of the Bhutadvaya. It makes sense like that. So he's just pointing it out. And further what? Tyasya hi esha rasaha. So this is this part. Tyasya hi esha rasaha. That he is explaining now. Yasmat yaha mandalastaha purushaha mandalavat na grihyate sarascha bhutadvayasya tasmad asti mandalastasya purushasya bhutadvayasya cha sadharmyam. So this point even I pointed out already. He says why this purusha in the Surya Mandala is the rasa of the Tyat, or the bhutas with the characteristic of Tyat. Means what? Because the Purusha who is there in the Mandala, we can see the Surya, the physical Surya we can see, but the Savita Devata we cannot see. Although every day we are doing Sandhya Vandanam, we are actually giving Arghyam to the Savita Devata, and we do the Gayatri Japa of the Savita Devata only. Even though we are worshipping that Devata, we cannot tangibly see the Devata. We can only see the Savita, the grass, sun alone we can see. So similarly, the Bhuta Dvaya also cannot be seen. Similarly, the Savita Devata also cannot be seen. Therefore, there is a Sadharmyam, he says. So it's a similarity is there. Therefore, it is the rasa. It can be considered as the essence of these two elements. So the Purusha who is there in the Mandalastasya Purushasya Bhutadvayasya Sadharmyam is there, he says. Between these two, there is a similarity. Therefore, what? Tasmad Yuktam Prasiddhavat Hetu Upadanam Tyasya hi esha rasaha iti. So therefore, this it is proper to say that, and it is also popular, correct? Prasiddhavat Hetu Upadanam means it is the Upadana Karana of the Purusha, this Bhutadvaya, and therefore the Purusha itself is the rasa. You can say that. So now up to this, Bhashyakara has given his meaning, whatever is the proper meaning. Then he is now taking up Bhartru Prapancha's view. So he says, Rasaha Karanam Hiranyagarbha Vijnanatma Chetanaha iti Kechit. So here you have to understand the meaning of Purusha which Bhashyakara is given is Karanatmakaha. It is in the form of Karana only, instrument. He is nowhere saying Chaitanya is involved in that. Understand that. He is only talking about the subtle body at a total level. But Bhartru Prapancha is giving a slightly different meaning. What is he saying? He is saying Rasaha means Karanam is the meaning Bhartru Prapancha is giving, but Bhashyakara is taking it as Karana. Previously he took it as Karya here in the case of physical. In the case of subtle, he is taking it as Karana. But this Bhartru Prapancha says Rasa means Karanam, and Hiranyagarbha Vijnanatma Chetanaha is the Karana here. So the Hiranyagarbha Vijnanatma means what? The Chaitanya which is manifesting in the subtle body of the Hiranyagarbha. That itself is the Karanam, and that is the Rasam. Like this, some people are saying, and Bhashyakara is now negating that view. He says, Tatra Chakhila Hiranyagarbha Vijnanatmanaha Karma Vayu Antarikshayoho Prayoktru Tat Karma Vayu Antariksha Adharam Sate Anyesham Bhutanam Prayoktru Bhavati Tena Swakarmana Vayu Antarikshayoho Prayokta iti Tayoho Rasaha Karanam Uchyate iti. Okay, is further explaining why Bhartru Prapancha or whatever explanation Bhartru Prapancha is given. So the Hiranyagarbha Vijnanatma means the consciousness which is manifest, the individual consciousness at the total level as Hiranyagarbha. So that the Hiranyagarbha itself is a status or a padavi, correct? How did the jiva attain that? Because of karma, one's own karma. So that karma only is actually impelling the Vayu and Antariksha. Okay. And that karma only is the adhara, basis for the Vayu and Antariksha itself to be created, and then from there the Hiranyagarbha Sukshma Sharira and all is created. So karma is the basis for everything. So tat karma Vayu Antariksha Adharam Sat, being the Adhara of Vayu and Antariksha, it is also the cause for creating the other three Murta Bhutas also. Okay, because that is clear in the Upanishad itself, it is saying, correct? Tasmad etasmad atmanaha akasha sambhutaha akashad vayuhu vayor agnihi agneerapaha adbhyah prithvi, like that it is there in Taittiriya Upanishad also. So this karma only is the karana, and one's own karma becoming the karana for all these things. Therefore, so tena swakarmana vayu antarikshayoho prayokta. So through one's own karma, the Hiranyagarbha, the Chaitanya, okay, the Jiva called Hiranyagarbha is the one who is creating everything. He is the prayokta, and therefore that Jiva alone is the rasa. Tayoho rasaha karanam uchyate iti. Like this, the meaning is given. So the Hiranyagarbha Jiva, one who has done a lot of karma and upasana, and his own karma alone is the cause for all these things getting created again in a new cycle of creation. So that person has to be taken as the rasa here, because the Purusha word is used. So Purusha is normally used with reference to a conscious being. That is the argument you can say this Bhartri Prapancha is trying to give. So he gives an explanation like this. But Bhashyakara now, he says Tanna, that's not the right explanation. Why? Murta Rasena Atulyatva. See, the Murta Rasa is not Chaitanya, correct? It is simply the physical sun is talked about. So similarly here also, Amurta Rasa also has to have certain similarity, Bhashyakara is saying, because it is a certain prakriya is there, correct? Certain methodology of teaching is involved here. There you cannot say it is insentient, and suddenly you cannot come here and say the rasa of the Amurta alone is sentient. They are all same, Panchabhutas are there, correct? So he is first saying why it is not, because Murta Rasena Atulyatva, there is no similarity between the Murta Rasa and the Amurta Rasa. And he explains that Murtasyatu Bhutatrayasya Rasaha Murtameva Mandalam Drishtam Bhutatraya Samana Jatiyam. So whatever we saw the rasa of the Murta Bhutas, okay, the three Bhutas which are Murta, itself is Murta, and it is the Surya Mandala we saw, correct? And it is visible to us, and it is similar to the Bhutatraya in all its characteristics, and it is not Chetanaha. Okay, na Chetanaha, that also Bhashyakara says here. Similarly, he says Tata Amurtayoho Api Bhutayoho Tat Samana Jatiyena Eva Amurta Rasena Yuktam Bhavitam. So he says similarly, the rasa of the Amurta Prapancha also, or Amurta Bhutas also, has to be similar to the Amurta Bhutas. Amurta Bhutas are not Chetana, they are Achetana only. Understand that. The space and Vayu are all Achetana, they are insentient, and their rasa also has to be similarly insentient. It cannot be a Chetana Vastu. So that's what he's saying. Vakya pravrittehe tulyatva, because the way the sentences are constructed and presented, it is pointing out to that similarity. Okay, that makes sense, correct? Your interpretation should be certain, consistent. That's what Bhashyakara is trying to say. Therefore, what he says, Yata hi murta murte chatushtaya dharmavati vibhajyete tatha rasa rasavatoho api murta murtayoho tulyeneva nyayena yuktaha vibhagaha. And he's also saying natu ardha vaishasam. Okay, there is a ardha vaishasa nyaya is there. That also Bhashyakara is saying. Nyaya means sometimes all these analogies which we give is called as nyaya. Ardha vaishasa nyaya means you cannot kill something, only half of it. Like you cannot take a hen and say I'll kill half of the hen and eat it and keep the rest of the hen for laying eggs. You cannot do that. Like that here he says this Murta and Amurta is there. They are all having Chatushtaya Dharmavati. Both of them are having 4 dharmas, which we saw that, correct? So they are all divided, are shown as having these 4 separate dharmas. And also similarly, rasa rasavatoho api, the one who has the essence and the one who has the essence, which are nothing but murta and amurta, you have to treat them, the rasa and rasavat, when you are talking about the one who has the essence and the essence also, you have to treat them similarly. Okay, tulyeneva nyayena yuktaha vibhagaha, he says. So when you talk about the who, what is the rasa for murta prapancha, whatever analogy or whatever logic you applied, same thing you have to apply here in the case of amurta. So you cannot say that here I will have chetana, there I will have achetana. That is like ardha vaishasam. That's what he says. It is not proper. Therefore he says murta rasepi mandala upadis chetanaha vikshate. He says, okay, now the Purvapakshi comes. He says, what if I say that even the murta rasa also, the mandala upadhi is there. The mandala is only a upadhi, it's only a conditioning factor, and actually the chetana only is meant to be conveyed there also. What if I make both chetana? You said that one cannot be chetana, another cannot be achetana, therefore you have to interpret it consistently and all that. Okay, I will interpret consistently. I will say both are chetana. Then Bhashyakara is saying ati alpam idam uchyate sarvatraiva tu murta murtayoho brahma rupena vivekshitatva. He says, what are you saying? Anyway, Brahman is the cause of everything. That way, if you look at it, obviously everywhere Chaitanya is there, but that is not the point of this teaching of this Murta Murta Brahmanam. Understand? When the Adhyaropa is done in the Murta Murta Brahmanam, it is only doing it at a certain level to show the Srishti itself as separate from the Chaitanyam, and finally it will be shown as Mithya. Okay, so here the idea is not to say, although Brahman is there everywhere, therefore you don't have to interpret it as a Chetanaha. It will not be correct. So that's what he is saying. Ati alpam idam uchyate. You are saying too little with reference to this, because anyway we also accept that everywhere Brahman is there. Brahman only is the is actually indicated by any word. In fact, it is the meaning of all words. It is not the meaning of any one word. That is the beauty. Therefore, what you say we cannot take. Then he says, no. He has one more point. He says, Purusha Shabdaha achetane anupapannaha iti chet. Since Purusha Shabda is there, the word Purusha is used, person. How can a person be achetana? Always the word person is used with reference to only a sentient, aware being. So that's why we have interpreted like that. Okay. So for this also Bhashyakara now points out that's not true always. In the Veda, Purusha word is used even for achetana karanas, or even the physical body and all that. So that's why he is saying na paksha puchadi vishishtasya eva lingasya purusha shabda darshanat. So this is there, paksha pucha. The pucha means if you take the Brahmananda Valli in Taittiriya Upanishad also, tasya, for example, you take this physical body or even the prana sharira and all that, there the different dakshina pakshaha, uttara pakshaha, ayam atma, idam pucham pratishtha, like that and all it comes. So it is talking about the left side, right side, the tail, the main body, like this. And in all these things, for all of them, the Purusha Sabda is used. Okay, for example, Savayesha Purushonnara Samayaha. So this Purusha is Annarasamaya, like that only it starts, the Panchakosha Viveka in the Taittiriya Upanishad. There the Purusha Sabda is used for Annarasamaya, the physical body, which is Annarasa, which is made up of the essence of food only, correct? So it's a modification of food. So the Purusha Sabda can be used for the one who is having these lingas, correct? These characteristics. Therefore, it is known, and then he is also quoting Shatapatha Brahmana itself. Although it is there very clearly in Taittiriya, he is saying Nava Itham Santaha Sakshyamaha Prajaha Prajana Yitum iman sapta purushan ekam purusham karavama iti ta etan sapta purushan ekam purusham akurvan. Like this, the Shatapatha Brahmana 6113 is quoted here by Bhashyakara. So here also you can see we will not nava itham santaha, being in this manner, shakshyamaha prajaha, we cannot create progeny, we cannot procreate. So prajanayitum iman sapta purushan ekam purusham karavama. So to be able to procreate, we have to bring these 7 purushas. Here the 7 purushas are, again we are talking about all these 7 indriyas and all that, correct? So the indriya are referred to here as purusha. We have to make it into one, ekam purusham karavama, and in this manner, what these 7 purushas were made it into one purusha, like this and all. It is their reference in the Shatapatha Brahmana. Ityadau annarasa mayadishu cha shrutyantare. This is what I said. Also in the Shrutyantara. So here in the Shatapatha Brahmana itself, reference is there for the Indriyas as Purusha. And then in the Taittiriya Shruti, Purusha Shabda is used for Annarasamaya, Pranarasamaya and all that. Okay. So the Purusha Shabda Prayoga is there. Annarasamayadishu means for all the 5 koshas, Purusha is used. Therefore, what you say is not proper. It has, both are only Achetana, the Rasa, and one cannot be Chetana. Or both Chetana also, if you say, it doesn't make any sense. Because when we are purely talking about the Rasa of physical entities, you don't have to bring in consciousness there, correct? Although consciousness in general, we accept that is the basis for everything. So your interpretation is not proper. Therefore, what finally iti adhidaivatam, adhidaivatam, Shruti itself it says ityadhidaivatam. So ityadhidaivatam iti ukta upasamharaha. So whatever subject matter was there, it is ending it. Upasamhara is happening. Adhyatma vibhaga uktyarthaha. Why it is showing this ending? Because whatever is going to come is about Adhyatma. Till now, whatever is there was Adhidaiva. Now Adhyatma is going to be talked about. So that Vakya we'll see. Atha Adhyatmam. So now explicitly it says that. Now we are going to talk about with reference to the individual self. Adhyatmam. Okay. Idam eva murtam. This body itself is murta, correct? Idam eva murtam. This is murta. Yad anyat pranacha yascha ayam antaratman. Okay. Na akashaha etan martyam etat sthitam etat sat tasya etasya murtasya etasya martasya etasya sthitasya etasya sataha esha rasaha yat chakshuhu sataha hi esha rasaha. So you can see here it is very similar to the adhidaivam, correct? So with reference to the body only now we are talking. The murta is this body itself, this body like that. Etan idameva murtam, like that it starts, correct? This gross body or the physical body itself is the one with the form, that is murta. And what is that? Again here it is showing like how it showed there as something different from the amurta. Here also it is showing what is this physical body? It is other than prana. Yad anyat pranacha. Okay. Yascha ayam antaratman nakashaha. Okay, what is that which is other than the air and the ether that is there in the body? See, physical body also, we breathe, prana is there, we say, and even, of course, space has to be there. Otherwise, you cannot eat anything and ingest anything into your body. But the body itself is other than these two. So here it is trying to show the usage of the words are similar even for the Adhyatma, like how the Adhidaiva was described. Similarly, it is described here. And also this body itself is Martya, Etan Martyam, and it is also limited. It is stationary in one place. And Satasya, and it is also Sat. means it can be viewed. You can see others' bodies. It is available for sensory perception. And the other usage is very similar, correct? Etasya murtasya, etasya martyasya, etasya stitasya, etasya sataha, yesha rasaha. So here, what is the rasa? At the individual level, what is the rasa? Means yet chakshuhu, your eyes. Eyes are the rasa, are the essence of this adhyatma murta. If you take, the rasa is chakshu. So there Savita Devata and the eyes only are connected to the Savita, correct? The sun. So sun is at the total level, and eyes are at the level of the individual. Because through the eyes only you are able to see all the Murta Prapancha. That is why eyes themselves are the rasa. Like that, it is said here. We'll quickly see the Bhashya. Atha aduna adhyatmam murta murtayoho vibhagaha uchyate. So now the vibhaga or the division of forms and formless with reference to the individual self is talked about. Kim tat murtam. So what is the thing with form here? Means idameva. Whatever is this means this body. Kincha idam. What is idam means yad anyat. What is this idam? Also, he is just going along with the Upanishad here. So yad anyat pranacha vayoho. So that which is different from this air which we breathe. Yascha ayam antaha abhyantare atmani akashaha kham. So yascha ayam antaratman akashaha is there. So the whatever akasha is there within the body, which is kham. Kha also is a synonym of akasha. So Bhashyakara is simply giving another synonym. Akasha means kham. Sharirasthascha, whatever is there within the sharira, the whatever space. So whatever is different from the air and the space is the physical body. Okay, sharirasthascha yaha pranaha etadvayam varjayitva. So leaving these two, the space which is there in the body and whatever air is there in the body, leaving these two things away. What yad anyat, so whatever is other than that, sharira arambakam bhutatrayam. So whatever your physical sharira, which is made up of again the bhutatraya only, correct? It's made up of agni, apaha and prithvi. So the bhutatraya only has become this physical body. Therefore, yetan, and therefore it is again what? Yetan martyam ityadi samanam anyat purvena. So already Bhashyakara has explained why it is martya and all that. Whatever is murta is martya, whatever is martya is sat. All these things we have seen, correct? And sthitam and all that. So it's all similar to whatever was said already. So etasya sataha hi eshaha rasaha. And then again this sat, whatever this physical body which can be seen with sense organs, the essence of that is chakshuhu, the eyes. So adhyatmikasya sharira arambakasya karyasya yesha rasaha saraha tena hi sarena saravad idam shariram samastam yatha adi daivatam adi daivatam aditya mandalena prathamyacha chakshushi eva prathame sambhavataha iti tejo rasaha niravartatagnihi. Like this, we already saw that. Iti lingat. Okay. In fact, these things we'll see next week. I don't want to hurry. So we'll continue this. So if you see this with the fifth one, this adhyatma will be over. And then you can see this neti neti is coming. That is the apavada. So both the Adi Daivika and Adhyatma Adhyaropa is done up to fifth Vakya, and then the Apavada is done here, and then there is a big Bhashya again. We'll see that. Not very big, but yeah, reasonably big Bhashya is there. We'll see all that next week. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.